on social media. This is another great interview from one of my Silver Sister community, JoAnn from Ottawa. Hello, JoAnn. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Nicole. How are you?
I am great. As you guys know, our Silver Sister community keeps on growing. How cool is that? I've been doing these interviews now for about 3 years. You'll find a lot of stories on our Gorgeous Grey Movement YouTube channel for more inspiration. And you guys can also follow JoAnn after this interview. And I'm going to just make sure I get it right. It's the JoAnn, and it's spelled JoAnn, just like you see in her name, with the underscore experience. And so this beautiful woman has taken the plunge back in May of last year. So she's just over a year of celebrating 1 year. And we are so excited to hear more about her story so she can inspire many women to take the plunge and say, what the heck, let's do it. So JoAnn, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
So let's dive in. This is always the number one question women get, you know, why did you do this? It's so scary.
Thinking about this, I'm not even sure why I decided to do it. I think it was, actually March of 2021. And I think it was, I'm going to blame it on COVID. I'm going to blame it on COVID because here in the province I live in, there were a couple of lockdowns that kept me from going to my appointments, which typically were 4 weeks apart. And so the first one that happened in March of 2020, the next time I could go, it was June. And in that time, I was starting to think, maybe I should do this. I don't know. Spoke to my hairdresser about it when I did go back in June. And she was amazing. She was really supportive. She said, JoAnn, your color will be so beautiful. And I said, okay, put the dye on. Like I just wasn't ready. So then we had went through months of going back and back. And then we had another lockdown. It was December of 2020. Through to February of 2021. And so in that period, again, I got thinking like, this is crazy. I'm beholden to this schedule of getting this done. And when these things happen and you can't go. And anyway, I went in February, got it done. And then in March, I had another appointment. And then I said, that's it. I'm done doing this. So there really wasn't, it was sort of a culmination of things. You have to, I always sort of schedule trips and events around my hair, like, that's going to be 3 weeks of grow out. I don't I was going early, I was extending it. I was just tired of being beholden to it. And I said, that's it, I'm done.
You hit the crossroad like so many of us do. We just have that there's something in women where we make a decision and we are clear. There's no going back, right? So let's talk about that experience. So you're just over a year now. Your natural hair color would you say more on the light side, or are you more dark naturally?
It was light. You can, it's pretty bleached out, and there's still lots of the blonde. This is quite light.
Okay.
So admittedly, my transition was not super challenging. It's not like I think you had quite dark hair, Nicole. Like it's
right. Yeah.
So it was relatively easy because my demarcation line was not pronounced. I had a couple of months where I just did the root spray, wore a lot of hats. I just got through it. In September last year, I was really getting a bit itchy to do a big cut. Like I thought, I can cut it short. I've had short hair before. And I was really feeling like, I was like, because I have no patience. I just wanted to be done. And I knew a shortcut would get me there because I had a decent amount of grow out. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. Personally, for me, I didn't know that I wanted gray hair that was short.
Mhm.
So I hung on and got through that. And then, we had winter and getting lots of hats. And so, and now I don't care. Like I don't care what people think.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, it's so, for someone that, anytime you had that, you'd be like, oh my God, root spray. And oh, I can't, now I could care less.
What's the word that you use when you think about this transition? Is there one word or an
Oh, that's a good question.
expression?
Um, Liberating, maybe?
Mm, liberating. Yeah. The word that I use is freedom.
Yeah,
Very similar, right? Just
very
feeling,
similar.
ah, I
Yeah,
don't have to worry about the next appointment, right? Ah, how freeing is that?
yeah.
For sure. And worrying about that line, that I don't know where that I don't know at what point in the world in the way that we got programmed as women that line represented something so awful, so like shameful almost, right? So much shame around it, and to be able to not have to worry about it is a whole other experience. So another question for you. So, what have been some of the feedback and comments from other people as you've gone through this journey?
Well, to be honest, I have not, um, I haven't really had a lot of people say things to me,
Mm-hmm.
um, other than on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And I only just recently updated my Facebook profile, and that
Mm-hmm.
it was all very positive. One interesting comment was, how did she put it? You don't even look old.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, yeah, I agree. So, there's still these perceptions, right? Um, I don't know, Nicole. I'm a I'm a widow. I don't know if people think I'm fragile. If they say something, I'm going to start crying. Like I don't know. So I really haven't had a lot of people say things to me.
Mm-hmm.
One person asked me where I got it done, and was
Oh,
it?
okay. Yeah.
Um, but mostly anything, it's been positive and supportive. And yeah, yeah, I've been really lucky. I've heard stories and read stories about people being told terrible, awful things.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't encountered that. I've been really fortunate.
That's great. And you've got quite a few followers on Instagram already. Tell us a little bit about your journey of sharing on Instagram. What is that like for you? Or is this more of just doing it for fun? And
It's for fun, and yeah, I to be honest, I am not comfortable with the whole selfie concept. Like, I this is very new to me, and it's um to push myself to sort of step out of a box and
mm,
into another box. And everyone has been so supportive, so understanding. Yeah, it's been a great experience, and the Silver Sister community, um, unbelievable, unbelievable. And in
yeah.
fact, it was a Silver Sister who I've, when I was considering this journey, I looked at her account and her story, and she she encouraged me to, just through her story and the story and her highlight about her journey, to not do any treatments, to just go cold turkey
Mm-hmm.
and let nature take its course. So I was really, because I was considering that, because again,
Mm-hmm.
not very patient and sort of wanted the quick,
Mm-hmm.
let's get it done. Um, so glad I didn't do that, because that's not great. For me, it wouldn't have been great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, everyone has their, different journey. I highlight on a video in my Instagram, a video I did very early on of my journey and all the things that I learned along the way. So my journey was very much about treatment and blending and the thousands of dollars that I used and literally butchered my hair, fried it to the point where I had to get like a huge chop off. And I was like, just like my video was all about warning, warning,
Yes.
don't do it. And after I did more research after the fact, I was, going down this path. There was this one beautiful silver sister that had long dark hair. And when she did her full transition in like, I don't know, 12 or 13 hours, literally 50% of her hair came out and in these big chunks because it killed it off. So I know that, some women need to do that and that's fine. It's just that make sure you know that the hairdresser that you're working with knows what they're doing.
Mhm.
And usually if they do know what they're doing, they're probably charging you a couple $1,000, um,
Right.
like that we witness from the big guy Jack, who we
Yeah.
see the
Yeah.
transition, right?
Yeah.
But not everybody can afford that. That's a whole other story. So as we close off this interview, any last minute tip, trick, advice that you would give a woman that's watching that's like, oh, you know what? You have kind of the same skin tone as me. I'm fair hair. I'm looking at you. You look great, but I don't think, I could do it. What advice could you give that woman?
I think it's you just start and you just try, because if it doesn't work out or you change your mind, you just go back to dyeing it.
Hmm.
And there's no shame in that.
Hmm.
This is not for everybody. But I think if you're having some thoughts or considerations about doing it, then you need to try. You just have to try, and you might surprise yourself. And I think it's important to that people know that Mother Nature usually gets it right.
I love that. And it's so true, right?
Yeah.
It's the what if. And I teach my girls, like, but what if it could be better than you ever imagine? I've got a daughter that's thinking about going to Hawaii this summer for a couple months, and she's getting a little nervous because a couple of her friends have backed out. And I'm like, the what if, but what if?
Mm.
And so I've always kind of had that. And so, what if the color is more beautiful than you could imagine, right? And try it. That I love that. Just try it on and see how it fits. Well, thank you, JoAnn, for your
Phew.
story of bravery to just jump in and see how it fits. It looks great on you.
Thanks.
Thank you for your inspiration on Instagram. We'll make sure to tag on this video so people can start to follow you and just be able to see that beautiful journey that is unfolding. So thank you, friends, for tuning in. If you love this video and story, make sure to share it with somebody that really would value and understand the story, as well as making sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel Gorgeous Gray Movement for more inspirational stories of women just like JoAnn. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and have a great afternoon.